All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. All right, so I wanted to talk about faith a little bit. It's just something I was thinking about last night. I can't say the I guess the iterations of the thought. I really can't tell, but I was thinking about faith and how far does matters of faith stretch out, right? And what I mean by that is like the utility of faith. Like how do you use it, right? Do you use it only in matters of the truth, or does it stretch out into all facets of your life, right? How do you exercise it, right? So I started thinking about it, and I've been thinking a lot about this story lately about Abraham and the what his journey into I don't know if I want to say journey. Abraham and his travel to a land that the Lord was promising him, right? And him kind of settling in the role that the Heavenly Father um, had for him. I've been thinking about this story a lot, and um, I wanted to talk about it in regards uh, to faith. And as I was thinking last night on it, faith is let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. I always forget where the scripture is. This is Ephesians 2:8. It says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High." Right. So, we have faith, right, as a gift, right? But how do you use it, right? Is it only in matters of um, the truth? What I mean by that, because I'm separating, I guess, the truth from your secular life, if that makes any sense. I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but there's a double life we live, right? We live a life, and both lives are seen, right? We live a life of the men we are on the highways and byways, uh, and then we live a life, in our regular lives. I'm saying secular because I mean in like outside of your work in the truth, right? If you think of your ministry as a stewardship and not as a I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but um, in so many words, there's a duality that we live. Um, do you only use faith in, as let's say, your ministry, or does your faith extend out into your regular life? And I think the answer is it does. It does extend out into your regular life, and really that's how you exercise your faith, right? And I was thinking about this. So it can't just be you being on the highways and byways, and that's the only way you can show your faith, right? Because really, let me go here. What is that? Maybe I got it pulled up. Not that one. What was that one that I opened? Let's go here. Let's see. Start to log it. Um, thought I read it, but I thought I left it open. There it is, right there, but underneath. Yeah, I didn't leave it open, I guess. This is Romans 8 and 24. It says, "For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for it?" Right? And I thought of that, and I said, the truth in this regard is easy in that we have examples of it, right? Like for instance, right? It's easy for a parrot to pick up language or to look like he knows how to talk because he has a an image of it, right? He can see what a human is doing and what a human is saying and just repeat it, right? So there's not much to his language. There's not much to the utility of it because is he really speaking? No, he's just imitating or emulating um what someone else is doing, right? So and I say that there's faith in that, of course, right? Because there's a purpose behind why we do it. But in the work itself, right? Are you really being faithful? Because you're not really going out on a limb and doing something that is not repeatable, right? Because you see other people doing it. We have the examples of the apostles, we have the examples of the elders, and we can at the very least imitate what they're doing, right? But as I started thinking about this, right, when you think of the story of Abraham, right, keeping that in mind, when he was doing what he was doing, so I'll say as Abram, right, and because it's kind of lived like he lived as Abram, then he lived as Abraham, so that's why I say it that way. When you think about what he did, what he was doing in his faith, right, was that he was going out on a limb, doing something that wasn't that he had no reference of, right? He no he had never gone to the land of Canaan, right? The Lord was promising him a land that he didn't know it was occupied at the time. Like how you gonna give me this land? I'm just one person. And all these people are here. What am I supposed to just take it? You know. Um, he was doing things that he didn't have a reference for, right? Um, and that's what I want to talk about, right? Like when you take your life as a whole, not just the little individual things you do, but your life as a whole, you are um, the I want to say embodiment, but that might not be the right word. But you are, yeah, the embodiment of what you believe in, right? I remember when I first started dating my wife. Uh, she would always say, "Well, what's your religion? What do you believe in?" And I would tell her, don't worry about that. Like what you see in me, what you love in me is what I believe. Like I'm acting out. I'm doing what I believe. I am what I believe. And that's all you need to know. Like that is my religion. What I am exercising is what I believe. And I think it's important to note because faith is not just in being on the highways and byways. Faith extends out into all the things that we do, right? Whether it be a new job, right? I remember thinking about this, and this is my testimony. So please bear with me for rambling. I do have some scriptures I want to read, but I remember um, I've been at the same job for since 2004. The November of 2004. So coming up on this November, it'll be 17 years I've been here. And I always say like I wanted to do something else because I'm making money, but I'm not making enough money, right? I'm kind of getting by on the skin of my teeth, and that can get tiresome after a while, right? You, I would always see these like job offers, not offers, but like if you go on like LinkedIn or something like that, and you put your information on LinkedIn, there it kind of the site is designed to kind of ping you to um, jobs that would be of interest to you based on your credentials. And I would see these things, and it would be like a, a job paying six figures, and basically what I could do, but I was scared that I would be losing my security, right? That 17-year security of being tenured at a place is valuable. You know what I mean? Because there's not much you can do to be fired, right? You've been somewhere for 17 years. That's worth something in the workplace, right? So I say that to say, um, my fear held me back, and that's not faithful. That's not faithful, right? Your faith extends out into those types of things as well, right? And this is what Abraham is experiencing, right? When you read this, so this is Genesis 12:1. It says, "Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred," right? "And from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee," right? So imagine that when you have your family dynamic, right? You're in your dad's house. There's no worries. You don't have any worries. You have a great support system. It's kind of like the security of a 17-year job, right? You don't have to worry about nothing. You could fuck up. You know what I mean? Like think about it. When you were a kid, right? How easy life was because you had that system already around you, right? If homelessness wasn't an idea because your parents had a house, or your aunt or your grandmother, you didn't have to worry about certain things, right? And this is the dynamic that Abram lived, right? He lived with his dad, like just lived with his family, right? So it says, and I will make of thee a great nation, um, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, right, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran, right? So he was 75 years old when he finally decided to, essentially move out of his dad's house, right? And like, for sake of time, I won't read this whole story, right? Because it goes into, to 12, 13 chapter, all through all these things, right? So here it is, right? This man lived for 75 years without a care in the world, right? And the moment he leaves from his father's tutelage, all these different things start happening to him, right? Like all the things you fear, right? Somebody trying to hurt you, somebody trying to take your girl, your nephew getting kidnapped. You gotta put your son out there to sacrifice your son. Like all these things that you fear of the outside world happened to him right away as soon as he left his dad's house. But he kept moving. He kept moving. He stepped out on the water, if you will, right? So, which brings me to what was this in James? I had this. I want to read that. So let me go to this, and I'll read this in Matthew's here. This is Matthew 14:22. It says, "And straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain up and apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer. It is I, be not afraid," right? It says, and Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, right, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me, right? And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt, right? So you in life have to step out onto the water, right? And even in turmoil, right? Abraham's life was tumultuous, man. People trying to take his girl. His nephew got kidnapped. He got to go mount up his boys and go get his nephew back. You know what I mean? Like, think about that, man. His life was tumultuous. Then he had his first son, right? Like, the way he had his first son, like he took his wife Sarah's handmaid, and you know, laid with her. She got pregnant. She got cast out. Now this lady that he done got pregnant is out there in the world. He don't know where they at because she done left. He had a tumultuous life, but he lived it because he believed in the Lord. He went out on a limb every time. Every time the Lord called him to go out on the limb, he did it every time, man. That's how you exercise your faith, right? That's how, and like all things, like you, in order for them to be built up, you have to exercise them, right? Like to think of all that can go wrong is not faithful. That's not a faithful life. I don't care how many times you say, "Oh, I got faith. I'm a faithful person." If you're not willing to go out on a limb, right, with the belief that the Heavenly Father will fight for you, then that's not faithful. And you exercise that utility, right? You exercise that in all that you do, not just on the highways and byways, not just in reading the Bible on the streets and yelling at people. You have an example of that. You can see that, right? There's no there I don't want to say there's no faith in that. I'm trying to refrain from saying that because that's not true, because there is faith in that. But it's not just in that. It's not just in that. It's in everything we do. It stretches out into your whole life, so that what your life is, what Abraham's life was a testament to faith. It was an example of faith. All we've all referenced faith. We're Israelites because of his faith, right? His walking out on a limb is why we are Israelites. His life was the embodiment of what he believed. You you can't say you have faith if you have no nothing to show for it. To say you have faith is asinine, really, right? To say I believe that the Lord is will work for me, but then every time you have an opportunity to show the power of the Lord in your life, you pale, or you're afraid to take a risk. It's in everything you do. And Elder Apostle Tahar has always said this, and I was always afraid to do it because, again, that job security. He said, "Look, there are too many app-based income jobs, if you will, to have to work on the Sabbath. Go out on a limb, have a little faith, get one of them app-based jobs so that you don't have to work on the Sabbath." And I would always get so scared because I'm like, damn, I've been at this place for a long time. I got insurance, and that you start thinking of all that can go wrong. That's not a faithful life. You're not living a faithful life when you're thinking like that. So I have more scriptures, man, but for sake of time, I gotta start getting ready for work. I'm gonna stop here. Lord's will, I'll get back into this later on this evening. But for now, I'm gonna say all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honor and salutation to the elect. With that, I say shalom.